So my Yah senses are tingling. The next attack on the true Hebrews is going to be concerning DNA. I've heard this about twice, like, oh, these DNA tests, they don't really matter, they're fake and that kind of stuff. I've done my ancestry DNA, and my thing is, if it's fake, then why is it connecting me with people who are related to me? It's got to be true on some kind of level. Where I don't agree with ancestry is the pinpoints that they put me on. Although my aunt did say we were part Ashkenazi Jew, and I got like 1% Ashkenazi Jew in there. So that's quite interesting. But what they are saying is because they are sending in DNA of animals and it's going back to certain parts of the world. One thing they did was like some kind of lizard and it went back to the Ashkenazi Jews. And then they did some kind of dog and 2 dogs and it went back to the Native Americans. Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but as the Bible says, fallen angels mixed with humans. They taught them things and they mixed with them. One of the gods in Egypt is a dog god. You got a cat god. And many different animalistic gods in between. Who's to say this fallen angel that's a dog in some kind of way did not mix with human beings to make certain groups of Native Americans? It went back to the Mohawks and then I don't remember the other group, but I often see in Native American culture, they basically identify with different animalistic spirits. That's the whole thing of their totems, you know? Who is to say that this specific group, the Mohawk, did not have some ancestor that was a fallen angel or a Nephilim that mixed with a dog god? As for Ashkenazi Jews, I mean, they got their whole cult going on. Who's to say that they're not part lizard people? I don't know. I don't trust anything at this point. But the attack is happening because this man tried to say, oh, you shouldn't trust these DNA things. You just need to look at your lineage. But the thing is, black people can't look at their lineage so much, can they? No, not really. So now they're trying to say, oh, it doesn't matter the DNA because once black people pull up their My True Ancestry DNA, which is a website that you can upload your DNA from 23andMe or from Ancestry.com, and it will tell you the specific tribes in the areas that you really come from. So on Ancestry.com, I got mostly Nigerian, like 30%, and then like Mali and this kind of stuff. But the thing is, Ancestry DNA is looking at modern populations and not ancient populations, which My True Ancestry DNA looks at. So when I uploaded to My True Ancestry DNA, what I ended up getting was mostly Kenyan and South African. Now, the reason why Ancestry.com might be pulling up Nigeria is because these populations from Kenya and South Africa moved into Nigeria, and so the populations there now are reflecting that ancient DNA from Kenya and South Africa. My True Ancestry DNA gave me places to travel, and the 2 top places they gave me to travel are Lebanon, concerning the Israelite burial grounds. The DNA that I have in my blood goes to the ancient Israelites that were in Lebanon, but it also matches the people in Kenya and in South Africa. So what does that mean? Those ancient Israelites had Kenyan and South African blood. And that's probably what they are, because the whole Ugandan scheme, I mean, they were going to set up Israel and Kenya in the first place. It was probably to wipe them out, and God had said, nah, you ain't doing that. Okay, it could mean that, but to be fair, it also could mean that the Israelites were in Israel and then traveled down to Kenya and South Africa, and now that's why the blood is going back to those 2 areas. So these people are actually headed back to Khazaria, where they're from in the first place. But yeah, so this is the whole scheme, is what it seems like to me. People are trying to argue against the Hebrews being black. They're trying to argue against the Messiah possibly having black DNA. And so what they're going to do is try to make it about, do you have your lineage written down? You know darn well we don't have our lineage written down. We were scattered here on slave ships to 4 corners of the globe with yokes around our neck, just like Deuteronomy 28 says. And this is Egypt. That's why you see on the back of the $1 bill, and I'll pull it up for you. What is that? That's a pyramid, and it's on the back of the $1 bill. Why? What? This looks a lot like the bird of Ra. This is Egypt. This is where we were scattered into. I guess it's also some kind of deception from the Ashkenazi Jews themselves, where they can be like, oh, well, we don't have proof of our DNA, but we're just gonna make up this genealogy just so you guys can believe we're the actual Jews. You know, you can pull up all the support concerning where you come from, all the books, all the everything, and they're still going to deny. They're in denial because they're racist. So one of the things that I had told them were the Sephardic Jews were called black with woolly hair. I have pulled up the evidence from Rabbi Eliezer, who said the Shemites were black. They were either brown to dark brown or light brown. And then the Arabs said that Shem was Udma, which means brown to dark brown, black with red or yellow undertones. Like, the facts are right here in front of you. So they will lie about the facts in order to help their conscience, I guess. This is one of the deceptions that is coming out. And I don't know, I'm just reminded that time is very short. Because at the end of the day, you can believe it or you can't believe it. The Father is still going to remove his people from here.